The late Rosh Hashiva of Yeshivas Ar Yisrael, Rabbi Yaakov Nayman, was once traveling to the United States on a fundraising trip. And he had an appointment with the Gvir, with a very affluent fellow. He was hopeful that he'd get a substantial donation from him. So he took a taxi. The taxi drove him to the fellow's house, dropped him off. He walks up the front stairs. He rings the doorbell. He knocks on the door. No answer. He tries, he bangs. There's nobody there. So he goes back to the street, and he has no idea what to do. He doesn't speak a word of English, only Hebrew and Yiddish. He doesn't really know who to call, where to go. He's just standing there, kind of like perplexed, lost. Just as this is happening, a fellow, a local Baal Bus, a local from person, sees this and sees a Rosh Hashiva, a chashuv-looking fellow standing there, and he stops his car. He goes over to him, and in Yiddish/Hebrew, he says to the Rosh Hashiva, like, "Can I help?" And he says, "Yes, I was supposed to have an appointment with this fellow. I'm lost. I don't even have anywhere to go. I don't know what to do." So the Baal Bus, the fellow says to him, "Relax, I have you. You'll come to my house, and you could spend some time there. And I know this fellow. I'll contact him, and I'll figure it out for you." And sure enough, he takes him to his home, and he makes him a coffee, and he gives him a Danish, and he calls this fellow, and he realizes that he made a mistake, and he's going to be there a little bit later. And he sits with the Rosh Hashiva, and he schmoozes. They share some Divrei Torah with one another, until it was time for him to drive the Rosh Hashiva back to this wealthy fellow's house so that he could have this meeting. Before Rabbi Yaakov Nayman left, he looked at this fellow and he said to him, "I have tremendous hakaras hatov, I have tremendous gratitude. Imagine if you hadn't driven by, I'd still be standing there and I had no idea where to go and what to do. I don't speak the language, I'm lost." He says to him, "I want to give you a bracha. What do you really, really need? And I'd like to give you a bracha for that." And this Baal Bus says to him, "I'll be honest with you. We're married for a lot of years and we have no children. Maybe you could give us a bracha for a child." And Rabbi Yaakov Nayman gets very, very serious. And he says to him, "The Rebbeinu Shalom should give you a baby boy by this time next year." And miraculously, by that time next year, they were holding a baby boy in their arms. When they shared the story to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Rav Chaim said, "It's pashut, it's simple. We find it in the Torah. In the Torah we see that before Yaakov Avinu was able to get a bracha from his father Yitzchak, Yitzchak told Esav, actually Yaakov was the one that did it. He said to him, "Bring me matamim, bring me some delicious food, and then I'll give you a bracha." Why, said Rav Chaim Kanievsky? Because once he brought him the matamim, he brought him the delicious food, Yitzchak already had an obligation of hakaras hatov. Once a person owes someone something, as hakaras hatov, for gratitude, then the bracha he gives him is so much more substantial. It's a very powerful story, because it's not a nace, it's not a meifis, it's not a miracle, it's not some crazy totally out of the realm of understanding story. It's a regular story of a chashuv person, a special person, who had hakaras hatov, and with that hakaras hatov, he was able to give a tremendously powerful bracha. Let's work on our hakaras hatov, and hopefully we and everyone around us will be benched.